The Knicks lead 91-79 as we start the fourth quarter. They have been nearly unbeatable when they have a lead heading into the fourth. C.J. McCollum in his villain arc puts Atlanta up. Brunson to tie the game, and he does! Ice cold. Hawks looking to run. Johnson slams it home. Atlanta has its largest lead.
You got to play better with the lead. That's twice in the fourth quarter now.
Atlanta comes all the way back and ties the series.
All right, so the Knicks and Hawks currently tied up at a game apiece as the series moves away from the basketball mecca and to the ATL. And, you know, it didn't have to be this way. The Knicks led by 12 in the fourth quarter. They saw only Jalen Brunson score in the final 8-9 minutes of game two. Some called it highway robbery, what the Hawks got away with down the stretch. Others called it a giveaway by the Knicks. And unfortunately for a resident Knicks fan here, Stephen A. was not able to react to the Game 2 loss yesterday, so he'll get his chance right now. But as a reminder, Stephen A., C.J. McCollum dropped 32 points, and no one had answers for him. And so here was C.J. McCollum postgame.
Feel like you were maybe intentionally, maybe not looking to get that matchup against Jalen. I know you said it's not about beating him, but did you like what you had in those one-on-one scenarios when you were against him early?
What you think?
Was that what you said?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen A., what's your biggest concern with the Knicks now? Game 3 and Atlanta?
What my concern has been all year long, listen, this is a tough conversation for me because I'm a fan of Mike Brown. I think he can coach, but I also love him as a person. And I don't root against him. I don't root against anybody, really, but I root for him. I really, really do. But I love me some Tom Thibodeau in terms of the culture that he had instilled in New York, the roughness, the ruggedness, the fact that you knew every game was going to be a dogfight. It was just the way they were built. I haven't seen that from the New York Knicks most of this year. And this is a team that's been up there, offensive and defensive efficiency. So and we know they have talent, and we know they're a playoff caliber team. They're not scrubs. But I'm talking about being scrappy, being the kind of dudes that let you know everything was going to be a fight. It was going to be a bloodbath. We ain't going out like that. I don't see that from these New York Knicks. Don't get me started with them in the fourth quarter and how they've taken their foot off the gas. But let's not just leave it to that. C.J. McCollum has targeted Jalen Brunson.
You just told you, yeah.
I watched Big Perk talking about sitting in that chair yesterday, showing me my love, and but also telling him I get on his damn nerves, and I saw all of that stuff too. Well, damn it, I live to get on his nerves. I live to get on his nerves because he always getting on my nerves. This man calls me when there's coyotes around because he knows I can't stand him. And he calls me to let me know he saw one, and it's probably in my neighborhood. This is what he does to me. This is what Michael Wilbon does to me. But that's neither here nor there. The point is they love messing with me about that, and they love messing with me about my damn Knicks. And McCollum has targeted Jalen Brunson, 9 of 12 against Jalen Brunson as his primary defender. Targeted, made sure switches occurred. So Jalen Brunson, you understand, who gave him that look and played into him getting kicked in the groin and all of this other stuff, having C.J. McCollum come out and defend himself. I don't know why he told everybody I have 2 kids and I'm married. I'm not a villain, but okay, that's fine.
Great line.
There's a great line. There's a great line, but everybody that knows C.J. McCollum, former president of the Players Association, class personified, really good dude, really damn good player. But in the end, I said it before the series, doggy, Atlanta's no joke. Atlanta, since losing Trae Young, have been better, not worse, and relying on Jalen Johnson, and relying on Daniel Dyson, and relying on the C.J. McCollums of the world. These brothers can play. They're young, they're athletic, they're thoroughbreds, they attack, they're energetic, they will defend, they will not give up, they come after you. It's not going to be an easy series. And I believe they're going to win one of these games in Atlanta, too. Knicks better win one of these games. They better come back to the Garden tied 2-2, because I don't think they're coming back from a 3-1 deficit to Atlanta. So they got to win one of these games, preferably Game 3, because Game 4 will make it even harder. But I've been impressed with what I've seen from Atlanta. I have not been that impressed with what I've seen from the Knicks. They handled their business in Game 1. I knew Game 2 was going to be the key, because now you had a game plan against them. You've seen them again. You get ready to go up against them. And you handled your business. You stayed the course despite the deficit. You attacked. You know what? And the kill Alexander Walker, coming from Minnesota. That's a big-time pickup, because he was in Minnesota last year, and I was covering the Western Conference Finals for NBA Countdown with the fellas, and I was like, this brother can play. He's SGA's cousin. I said, he can play. And he's going to go someplace where he's going to be able to get the time that he deserves, and he is going to make a difference. And sure enough, he averaged 20 this year, hit a key three-pointer last night, showed the night before last, showed himself as being a formidable threat. I'm still thinking the Knicks are going to win this series. They better, but it is not going to be easy. And CJ targeting Jalen Brunson like that, guess what? Jalen Brunson, there's two sides of the ball. My brother, you got to figure out how to play that defense because you're being targeted.
Or they may have to help him.
But that's automatic. You got to do that.
Okay, so what's the formula for the help? I mean, that's what I'm looking at. If
the problem is they switching all the damn time. You can put Mikal Bridges on them. You can put Anunoby on them.
Bridges and Anunoby are the keys to this weekend.
That's right.
They're going to have to literally help. By the way, speaking of adjustments, is there a rule against the Knicks playing their two bigs together and actually involving them more?
Especially when
Mitchell Robinson had a great first half, and Karl-Anthony Towns, who took 2 shots in the fourth quarter. There's some easily identifiable things for the Knicks and Mike Brown to fix. The question is, how quickly? Can they get that done for Game 3?
Well, number one, before Steve brings tears to our eyes, Lou Hudson is not on the 2026 version of the Atlanta Hawks. Steve's got the Hawks out to be one of the great teams in the history of the NBA. No. The Knicks had a 91-79 lead start of the fourth quarter, Steve. We're at home. Win the game. That's a sloppy, terrible loss. You're making it sound like that the Hawks are some big-time team. Come on, calm down.
I walked into the series thinking they were going to be a threat, and it turns out I'm right.
A threat?
Yes, I do think
I thought they'd win Game 2.
I thought they'd win a game. A threat?
They're going to win more than a game.
I think they could potentially push this series to 7 games.
Absolutely.
That's shame on the Knicks if that's the case.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, you know, you told me how great the Hawks are.
I said I've been saying shame on the Knicks all year.
Chris, they're not a great team.
Oh, boy.
They're a good team.
The Knicks now we're talking about.
They can flirt with greatness like they did last year.
Yeah, they're flirting.
They're not a great team. You know what? The playoffs are showing us right now, if there's a great team, is Oklahoma City. Let's see what they do in Games 2 and 3.
I agree. That's a great team.
But the Knicks aren't great. They're not seriously flawed. Stephen A. talks about their attitude. When you get rid of Tibbs and you go to Mike Brown, you know you're going to get that change. You know that personality of the team is going to be different. You're saying you don't like the personality of this as much.
Because you expect a drop-off defensively.
Right.
You expect extreme elevation offensively.
Yes, which they have had at times.
And I don't believe they've had that. I don't believe
The bigger problem with switching from Mike Brown from Tibbs, you had 2 players off the bench score in that game, too. 2 players off the bench. You were going to spread the wealth. Where's the wealth?
Now, here's the other thing. Good job. I'm glad you brought it up. Where is the minutes police now? Where are all these 26-year-olds with the data about how Thibodeau wore out the Knicks? In the fourth quarter in Game 2, he played a stretch when Towns and Brunson both were not on the floor.
Yes, I brought that
I mean,
up
that is a disgrace. And then if you look at the lineup, look who he's got here in the fourth quarter in one sequence with a 12-point lead. They did this 5 with Alvarado, Clarkson, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson. They did not play 1 minute together all year long. And he's got them in the fourth quarter of a playoff game?
Wait, I think they played 8 minutes.
I thought it was 0. Whatever it was, it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't a lot.
I mean, that is, Michael, that is ridiculous. And one other thing, and NBC did a terrible job because they didn't know what the timeout situation was. That's a different story. Hold on now, Mike Brown. You got to hold that last timeout. 2:48 to go. He calls his timeout. He doesn't got more timeouts left. And they get the ball at 5-6 seconds to go. He doesn't have a timeout to get the ball to half court and get the ball to Brunson. You can't have Brunson.
I didn't mind them not using a timeout on the possession. You don't want to let them set up their defense because Atlanta.
He didn't have a timeout to use. He didn't have a choice.
He didn't have one to use. Right. But it was okay to me, that sequence. You want to see Brunson. By the way, Atlanta did a great job of shadowing Brunson after that missed free throw. And, you want Brunson with that shot, not Bridges.
Right.
Especially the way Brunson had played in the fourth quarter offensively. But, again, the Knicks, all these things point to just these little areas where they are deficient.
Right.
They are not a great team, and the expectations
Lack
are
of
out of
accountability.
whack. The expectations of these Knicks are completely out of whack given what else you've got. And this series with Atlanta, now they are in a dogfight. This series is going to go 6 or 7 games.
Okay. It
And let me
shouldn't. The fact that the Knicks are in this spot, despite Steve's plea that this is the 86 Celtics, I mean, you're going to beat the Hawks in 5 games.
They're not beating
you're
them.
making the Hawks.
They're not beating them in 5 games.
You're making the Hawks out to be some big team.
It's not that I'm making them out to be a big team. I'm making the Knicks out to not be what they once were the last 2 or 3 years. There's a difference. That's number one. Number two, because see, you don't want to listen. And I'm glad you made the point that you made about you have no problem with the last play. Because my sister Carmen, who suddenly think that after watching 2 years of basketball, she's the second coming of James Naismith, and she knows everything. You can't tell her anything, but she'll listen to you two before she listens to me. You made the point that I made to her. But Doggy's right. Even though you did it, I don't have a problem with the usage of the last.
You got to have one or
You
2
got to
and a half
have the timeout available to you in the last minute. You can't use your last timeout 2 minutes and 43 seconds or so left in the game. You can't do that. But in the end, what I'm saying about the New York Knicks is this. Atlanta, it's not that Atlanta is so great right now. It's that when you're young and you're talented and you have nothing to lose and you're playing with house money and you're going against the Knicks have shown a propensity to keep you relevant instead of handling their business and taking you out. You got a 12-point lead entering the fourth quarter. What the hell happened with that? You got these cats blowing kisses when you hit a 3-point shot. I understand that's what Jalen Brunson does after every shot, but cat and blowing and all of this stuff, like you blow, like you know, you got a hot dog or a burger, you got to blow, and you got to blow it up. What the hell are you doing? There's still
they
a game.
going to
There's still a
win
game to
game
win.
3?
They have to win game 3. I don't like the idea of the New York Knicks in Atlanta. Because let me tell you something about Atlanta. I've always felt like their fan base wasn't that great in years past. I think it's vastly improved. You got a lot of people migrate to Atlanta and stuff like that. But they all show up when the Knicks are in the house. And there's a lot of Knicks fans that be there too. But they show up when the Knicks are in the house. Atlanta is going to be hyped, you understand, and ready. And if they win game 3 and got a chance to put the Knicks in the 3-1 hole in game 4, that's going to be difficult. Under Tibbs, I'll be like, they're going to win that game 4. With Mike Brown and what I'm seeing from the Knicks this year, I have my reservations. They got to win game 3.
2021 first-round playoffs. Knicks and Hawks face each other. It was a 2-2 even series. The Hawks went on to win in 5. Not to bring up old stuff, but since we're a day of